Hello class 5. In the last part of the video, we started with our constitution and we completed the making of our constitution. Now today we'll start the features of the constitution. So the first is the preamble. Now preamble, what do you understand by preamble? Now preamble means introduction. Suppose if you study anything, if suppose this chapter only our constitution. Now before moving forward with our constitution, a short introduction is given that what you have to study in our constitution. So preamble is something like that only. When constitution was written, a small introduction part was given as preamble, like what should be there in constitution. And this preamble, it guides the people of the country and tells how one person should be and what are the rights given to them. Now, the sentence in preamble starts with "we the people." Now, the question arises, why it starts with "we the people"? Because people, they themselves created the constitution. Like we have studied in making of our constitution that members of different background, people from different backgrounds, they were chosen to make constitution, right? Different background means some were doctors, some were teachers, some were businessmen, some were engineers. So all group of members, they discussed and they created the constitution, and thus it starts with "we the people." Fine. Okay, so we'll start reading from here. It describes the kind of nation that the people of India want and the rights that are guaranteed to each and every one of them. The sentence starts with the words "we the people," which signifies that the constitution is created by the people themselves. Like I've already told you, what is there in the preamble? It tells you that how a citizen should be, how the people of the citizen should be, and what are the rights that should be given to them. And secondly, it starts with "we the people." Why it starts with "we the people"? Because the constitution was created by people themselves. Now what is there in preamble? We'll see in this picture. Now the preamble: "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution." Now, these are the things that is written in the preamble as an introduction. Now, the preamble states that India would be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Now, what do you mean by all these terms? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Which means that it would be an independent country whose wealth and resources would be shared by all its citizens. Now, since you know that India is now an independent country, so the preamble over here states that our India will be sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Means that India is already an independent country, and now since we are living independently, what will happen? Our wealth, the wealth of India, and whatever resource that is there in India will be shared by all its citizens. Suppose if we are staying in India and the other people, whatever resource, whatever wealth, whatever money that is there for India, whatever things that are supplied for India will be shared among all of us. That means we all citizens will enjoy the wealth and the resources. Okay. Now further, the word secular means that the nation won't have any official religion and no religion would be given more importance than the others. Now here, what do you understand by secular? Secular means, suppose if I am a Christian and after some days if I want to convert myself into Hinduism, that will be my choice. That means the word secular over here tells you that you can change your religion whenever you want to change, and no religion will be mistreated, neither it will be considered as official religion. That means if I am a Christian, if I want to convert myself into Hinduism, I can convert myself and practice Hinduism at any point of time. But that will be of my choice, because my faith and my belief will be of my choice, and no other person can object me for converting. Right? So this is what you understand by secular. And it also says that no religion would be given more importance. That means all the religion should be given equal importance. Fine. Next, Democratic Republic describes a system of government where the head of the nation is elected by the people. Now, what do you understand by Democratic Republic? Just take an example. You people are in class 5, fine. Now, what happens in the class? The class teacher is there, and suppose in absence of the class teacher or any other teacher, we elect 2 monitors from each class, right? And what is the job of those monitors? That in absence of teacher, they have to look after the class, that whatever is happening in the class, it's their duty to inform it to the teacher, right? This you know. So similarly, just the way you perform in the class as a monitor by looking after the class in absence of the teacher, here also in Democratic Republic, what happens? There is a person who looks after India or after the nation, and that person is elected by we the people, and that person is known as the head of the nation. What is his duty? His duty is to look after the nation. Fine. This is what you understand by Democratic Republic. Now, moving forward. The words justice, liberty, and equality are the ideals that the Constitution guarantees to us. It means that all the citizens of India will be considered equals in the eyes of law. Now over here, the words justice, liberty, and equality means, what does it mean in Constitution? That all human beings will be considered equally, be the person, no matter if the person is rich or poor or anything. Every person of India, of the nation, will be equal in the eyes of the law. They will be treated equally. No biasness will be there. Fine. They will have the freedom to speak their mind, to express themselves, to practice the religion they want to, and they would be given equal opportunities. Now further it says that they will be given freedom to speak. That means whatever they want to speak, they can say that. Whatever is going on into their mind, they are free to speak all those things. They are free to express themselves. Suppose if I want to be a doctor and my parents wants me to become an engineer, so in front of my parents, I'll try to speak up my mind that I want to become this, because I have a freedom to do anything of my own wish. I have my own desires to fulfill my thing, so I can speak freely to them that I want to do this, right? So here also the constitution says the same thing, that you have the freedom to speak whatever you want to speak. Then, to practice the religion they want to, and they would be given equal opportunities. Now, like we studied in secular, that whatever religion I want to follow, whatever religion I want to practice, I can practice. That is my own choice. I can put my faith in whichever god I want to put, in whichever religion I want to put. That will be completely my choice. Then, now, and in the end, it says that one of the aims of the constitution would be to ensure that all Indians live like brothers and sisters, and the country should remain united. Now, what does it tells you in the end, in the constitution, that all nations should live like brothers and sisters, and there should be unity. Unity means to stand by together. In whenever a person needs you, we need to stand with them. There should be peace and harmony in nation. We don't have to be against each other, rather with love, with peace and with harmony, we have to be supportive towards each other, so that there can be peace in nation. Then, the words socialist, secular, and integrity were not a part of the original preamble. They were added by the amendment later in the year 1976. An amendment is a procedure by which parts of the Constitution or any other law can be changed. This procedure is carried out in the Parliament. So today we'll study till preamble, and in the next part of the video we'll start with fundamental rights and duties. If you have any queries related to this part of the video, you can ask your queries in dashboard. Till then, take care and thank you.